Good evening, how's it going? Yuri Elkaim here. Welcome to this special Periscope session. I'm just about to sit down and watch Roger Federer play in the US Open, but I remembered, I'm like, you know what? I gotta do a Periscope session before I do. So in this little session, I'm going to show you a little bit behind the scenes of my latest published book called the AllDay Fat Burning Diet. And I want to give you guys a sneak peek about this because thank you for the hearts, guys. I appreciate it. Let's get some good Care Bear love going on. So I wanted to show you this because there's a lot of... This is a hefty book, okay? So I'm gonna turn the camera around. So you're gonna see, this is what I got in the mail yesterday from Rodale. So Rodale is the publisher. There's the cover of the book, or the title, I should say, the AllDay Fat Burning Diet. It will be released on Amazon and all bookstores December 22nd. And this is what I got in the mail. So this is obviously kind of before the book is bound. And this is basically just like a big, you know, thingamajig to kind of show you guys what you kind of go through as a published author. So this book is I think it's 336 pages if I'm not mistaken, so it's pretty hefty, you know, tons of references, but essentially this book is everything I know about burning fat. So in the AllDay, in my first book, which was a New York Times bestseller, it was called the AllDay Energy Diet. If you haven't read it, it's awesome. It's everything I know about energy. Everything you need to know about having more energy. Very quickly, the whole promise is double your energy in 7 days. And yeah, it was great. So this book is everything I know about fat loss. And if you follow my work for any amount of time, you know that I really specialize in two predominant areas. One is having a lot more energy. One is getting in great shape and burning fat. And that's what I'm really going to be digging into in this book. And what separates this book from everything else out there in terms of a diet is that it's really one of the only diets that focuses not only on clean eating. In a second, a 5-day food cycling formula that resets your metabolism to lose up to 5 pounds per week. So it's a very proprietary 5-day formula that I've used over the past couple of years to have some, you know, to basically show some incredible results with a number of our clients, and we've got some amazing testimonials and transformation stories that will be in here. But I want to show you something really cool, which is something along the lines of the exercise components, which is, where is it? Okay, so I'm going to just show you some cool stuff that we put in here. If I can find the pages. Where are we? Come on. So, come on, where are you? So every workout in the book coordinates or coincides with a specific day of the diet plan. So it's all very strategic. And for instance, we had all these really cool pictures and images drawn up for all of the exercises. I'm just trying to, it's a lot easier to flip through a book as opposed to, you know, images like that. So anyways, it's really, really cool. So anyways, this is, you know, 300 and some odd pages. It'll all be nicely cover book in the next couple months. No, I'm not going through chemotherapy. I have an autoimmune condition where I lost all my hair. That's okay. So there you go. So this book will be, again, it's very different from most diet books out there because it's, you know, it's something that is not commonly talked about, which is this whole idea of not eating the same amount of food every single day, day in and day out. So let me ask you a question. Do you feel like eating 5 or 6 times a day every single day? And have you heard that advice given to you before? And if you don't eat that amount of food, that your metabolism is going to slow down and you're going to kind of gain weight. Or if you don't eat for a day, your metabolism is going to shut down, you're going to starve, and your body will go into fat storing mode. And, you know, so we have this kind of, this fear of not eating enough. So there's a lot of myths and misconceptions as it pertains to weight loss and metabolism and food in general, and I think I do a very good job of dispelling them in this book. But more specifically, there are 6 fat triggers that I talk about in the first half of the book, which are the 6 big reasons why a lot of people are struggling with weight, and maybe beyond what they can even explain. And the reason I wrote this book is because I've helped over 500,000 people over the past decade and a half get in the best shape of their lives, but there's still a lot of people who are out there that are suffering, and they're doing things supposedly correctly. How does Nate's method differ from your? I don't know who Nate is, so I'm sorry about that. There's a lot of people who are suffering with weight issues. They're exercising, they're eating well, and still there's something that's still not working, and a lot of it has to do with the internal physiology. So when you actually are able to live and eat in a way that resonates with your body's natural rhythms, you're able to reset your metabolism to the point where you can start losing weight and kind of keeping that weight off on a more consistent basis. So anyways, this is coming out in December. I don't want this to be a huge pitch for the book, but whatever, it is what it is. I just wanted to give you guys a behind-the-scenes tour of the book and just to show you what kind of goes into the creation of a published book. So it took me about 3 months to write. It's gone through about 3 edits right now, a lot of back and forth. And, Nate Miyake. Yeah, so Nate Miyake, this is quite different from Nate's. What I like about Nate's program is that he's one of the very few, in my circle at least, people that I know, who agree with carbohydrate consumption being okay for your weight loss. As I talk about in this book, there are times when you can have lower consumption of carbohydrates, but it needs to be very, very short term, as in 1 or 2 days at the very most. What I love about Nate's approach is that he allows you to enjoy carbohydrates, and specifically later in the day, which is completely against what most people talk about with respect to carbs, but is completely in line with what I've been talking about with respect to carb consumption, which ideally should be later in the day for a number of reasons: hormonally, circadian rhythm, all that stuff. So it's Nate's book is awesome, but it's I would say it's one component of the strategy that I talk about in the all-day fat burning diet. So thank you for clarifying that. That makes sense. I was like, who's Nate? Cool. So what kind of carbs are good? Well, it's the usual suspects, right? The carbs that are bad, or I should say not bad, but things you want to stay away from, are the typical things like white breads, white pastas, the cereals. Focusing on more vegetables. Okay, so vegetables and fruit are carbohydrates, focusing more on vegetables. Starchy, green leafy, all good stuff. Fruits are fine, especially on days where you're having a little bit more of a heavier type of workload workout-wise, where you're just more active. And if you're going to have grains, just try to go gluten-free. So quinoa, amaranth, millet, buckwheat. Oats that are gluten-free are okay as well occasionally. And what else? I just had something that slipped my mind. But those are the big ones. You can also look at legumes, right? Legumes that are a tremendous source of fiber and carbohydrates and protein. Is veganese good or not? I'm not too sure. Is veganese, I'm not even sure what that is. Is that like a mayonnaise? Is that like a vegan mayonnaise? I'm not too sure. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for the hearts. I really appreciate it. Keep the love coming. This is great. Is there anything I can show you from this book? You know what I think I'm going to do is each evening I'm going to do a quick Periscope session, and I'm going to read you guys a little bedtime story from the book. I'm going to give you kind of a little insight into some of the cool stuff in this book. The vegan mayo, I don't actually know enough about the veganese to really give you an educated answer on that, so I'm sorry about that. But, yeah, I think you guys are really going to enjoy this book. Yeah, awesome. So, if that's okay with you guys, I'm going to end off on that note, and what I will do. So, can you explain what type of workouts you have in the book? So, the workouts in the book are a combination. There's 4 different types of workouts. So, there's a focus on body weight training. There's a focus on strength, and there's a focus on eccentric strength. And there's obviously the 4th component is metabolic conditioning. So metabolic conditioning basically meaning full body, higher intensity. Let's burn a lot of calories during the workout. The workout is fairly short, so you don't have to work out that long. And it provides a very, very active kind of metabolic afterburn effect. So you're burning calories after the workout as well as during the workout, while focusing on full body movements that get a lot of muscle involved to burn a lot of calories and stimulating strength. So One of the ones I'm really excited about to share with you guys and for you guys to try are the eccentric strength workouts. And I devote a good amount of time in the workout chapter talking about this, where if you're doing, for instance, if you're doing a bicep curl, okay, the workouts are awesome. I'm a first beta tester, dropped to 21% body fat. Awesome, thank you. Well, there you go, guys. The proof is in the pudding. So which was your favorite workout? As you just responded to that, I'm just curious. I really enjoy the eccentric strength workouts, where the focus is on the lowering of the weights, the lowering towards kind of working against gravity and slowly working against gravity. That's a component of a contraction that most people forget about. They just focus on the concentric phase, which is for instance, if I'm doing a bicep curl, that's the concentric. This is the eccentric. So shortening of the muscle, lengthening of the muscle. The lengthening, the returning of the muscle to its original length is the eccentric phase. And if you do that slowly and in the right fashion with the right exercises, it's unbelievable what that will do for your strength, for the prevention of injuries, and for the number of muscle fibers, thus muscles or little muscle cells that are recruited for that activity. And the more muscle you engage in any activity, the more calories you're going to burn, the more fat you're going to lose. Can you use weights after a knee injury? Absolutely. You definitely should be. But after you've rehabbed or gotten your knee back to a stable position through the proper types of exercises. So obviously you want to be working with a physio if that's the case. And just to give you a quick analogy, like a quick story of how I got into all this, I actually broke my leg when I was 15, and before that I was playing soccer and I broke my leg in a game. Before that, I never actually I never even stepped into a gym. All of my training was outdoors, playing soccer, running around. And after breaking my leg and having to be reintroduced to getting my leg, which was now the size of my arm, which was pretty crazy, right? Like alien-like, I was introduced to working out. And I was very fortunate to have been working with a really smart trainer who showed me some really interesting things about how to activate your muscles properly, how to train them properly. And that's kind of how I started to fall in love with weight training. As you can tell, I'm not a big guy, but I train for performance. And what I've been really well known to do is turn people into just unbelievably fit machines. And I've worked with hundreds of elite athletes as the head strength coach at the University of Toronto for 7 years. It's one of the top 20 universities in the world. So I used all of those athletes as my guinea pigs for a lot of the workouts that I've ever produced. And you guys get to benefit from all that. You don't have to work out 6 days, like 6 days a week or 2 hours a session, but you can take the principles that athletes are using and put those into your own workouts. So I hope that helps. The workouts are awesome. They're a lot of fun. And Rodale wanted me to put all the pictures and all the descriptions of every workout in the book, so that's why it's a little bit hefty. But the follow along and all the video workouts, you can get those in addition to the book if you want. And it's just a really, really awesome, all-encompassing program. So I'm very, very excited to get it out to you guys. Okay, so on that note, I'm going to go. Got some tennis to watch. Are you guys watching the US Open? It's pretty awesome, right? It's so hot and humid. Those guys and girls must be just drenched out there. Well, thank you so much, Val. Thank you for joining me on these Periscope sessions. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, if you know anyone who needs to lose weight, who's been struggling with weight loss, definitely let them know about this book. It's going to be a game changer. It really, really is going to be a game changer. And I'm very excited about it. So if you guys can help spread the word, that would be great. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I will be joining you guys probably tomorrow morning at some point. I'm actually going to be going down to the water to watch the air show or the practice sessions with the fighter jets. That's going to be incredible. Taking the kids out. It's going to be fun. Maybe I'll do a little Periscope session from out there. And thank you for joining me. I will see you then. And if you want to join my my work, if you want to stay tuned on whatever's going on our blog, you can join me over at the blog. It's yurielkaim.com. The website is in the profile. And there it is. Thanks again, guys. Have a great night. And I'll speak to you tomorrow.